Hey, look outside. You'll notice things springing to life. Birds are chirping, other creatures hopping about.
Yeah, that can only mean one thing. Spring is right around the corner, and critters are coming uncaged in so many different ways. Ken Frye, the new director, woohoo, at Scovill Zoo, and Blade, a Dutch rabbit, join us. Congratulations, first off,
yeah, thank you.
on the promotion. We're excited for you.
Yeah.
But we're even more excited that you brought a Dutch rabbit.
Because he's adorable.
He is.
And there's no Cadbury eggs hiding under there, right?
What he leaves, you wouldn't want to pick up. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what makes a Dutch rabbit different than other rabbits?
Well, the Dutch rabbits, they have been kind of domesticated, and so a lot of people keep these as pets and for fair projects, and so they're pretty laid back. They're easy to work with. Whereas the European rabbit or the gray rabbit that you'll see outside your homes and all over central Illinois, those are a little more wild, and they don't make as good as pets because they haven't been really domesticated.
And they'd be all over the place.
They would.
So
yeah.
what should people do if they happen to find like a little bunny nest in their yard?
Yeah, this is a great time of year that the bunnies are going to start having nests and doing their stuff. And the cool thing is that the mama bunnies will actually pluck out hair underneath their chin and line the nest with them. They'll dig a little hole in the ground, like the size of a golf pin cup, you know, that size, and then line it with fur, cover it with grass, and after they give birth to the babies, and then they leave, and they only come back a couple times a day. The milk that the mama bunny produces is very rich, and so the babies get enough just, you know, eating a couple times a day, and so people will find these nests, not see the bunny around, and think that they're abandoned, and they're not. They're just kind of what the mom bunny does. If she's sitting on the nest and then runs away, usually a dog or whatever would come up and investigate where they were and sniff and start to smell the trail, and they'd find the nest. So by being away, they're not calling attention to where their nest is, and so they're kind of protecting their babies by not being there with them, and then just only coming up a couple times a day to feed them.
Is it the kind of situation like I know with birds or whatever, if you mess with a bird, then the mom won't come back? If you happen to stumble upon one accidentally, will the mom still come back and nurse?
Yeah, usually they would. You just cover it back up, and they'll come back and feed them again. And if you kind of disturb the nest and all the little bunnies run away, then they're old enough to take care of themselves. So at that point, you don't need to call us then either.
Okay.
So here's the question then to me is, if I run across a rabbit nest in my yard, do I want to be aware? I guess I need to be aware of it, right, in case I have a lawn mowing group coming or something like that, or my dog. I don't want him to go out and have
don't walk the dog near that area.
Right. So, but at the same time, you don't want to go near it. They need peace.
Just kind of be aware of where it's at. If you do find one, just be aware. Just kind of leave it alone and kind of avoid that little area of the yard, and let the grass get a little taller there, and and then you'll find, you know, after you check it, you'll see all the bunnies are gone someday, and then you just go mow.
There you go.
How long between the time that they're birthed to the time that they start hopping away?
See, about just a month or less than a month. It really doesn't take long. They grow pretty quick, and they get furred up, and their eyes open and their ears open, and pretty quick. So they're ready to go. It's really cool about the bunnies themselves because they have almost 360-degree vision around them. They can't see directly behind them, but with their eyes, they're kind of on each side of the head here, and so they can see all the way around, you know, on each side of it, and so they can see predators coming up, and they have great hearing, as you can tell by these big old ears here, great hearing, and so being low on the food chain, they've kind of evolved to be able to take care of themselves out in the wild, but that's kind of, you know, they attack the grass and everything else attacks the bunny. But,
So really quickly, your opening is just right around the corner.
It's coming right up. April 3rd, which is Good Friday. Is our first open day. Probably a free day for a lot of people from school. If they'll have that day off, so they can come check us out at the zoo. It'll be our first day open. The Saturday we have our critter egg hunt. And so one of those Easter weekend fun activities, and then Sunday you can go back to church. And we'll be open that day as well. So come see us. We're excited to be opening up again. And once temperatures warm up, the more animals that will be coming out.
There you go.
And then an Earth Day celebration that we'll tell you about later. But if you want to check it out now, it's on the website.
Yeah, it's on the website, and just kind of learning what to do in your own backyard.
Yeah, and don't forget, Breakfast with the Easter Bunny, April 4th, 9 o'clock. Do they need tickets, Ken?
They do. They need members for that. It's a members event, and so be a member of the zoo. And
so join and go lots this summer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why not? Ken Frye for Scovill Zoo, along with our buddy Blade. We'll get you connected at stayliving.tv after today's show.
All right, who wants to go to the movies this